Hi, guys. Welcome to Age Graceful Soulful Eats. I'm here with my granddaughter this morning. She spent the weekend with me, and we're going to do a cheesecake this morning for her dad's birthday, my oldest son. So instead of doing a regular traditional cake, we're going to do a cheesecake. So the cheesecake that I make that my family loves, the recipe is actually on the inside of the box of the Philadelphia brand cream cheese. However, I'm not using that cream cheese today, so I'm just going to walk you through the process step by step. I'm using Dutch Farms cream cheese, and for the cheesecake, for one, you need 4 blocks of cream cheese. So since I'm making a double batch, in my mixer bowl, I have already placed 8 blocks of cream cheese. Also, you're going to need 1 egg for every block of cheese. So I have 8 eggs here that I'm going to crack into a coffee cup and pour those in when it's time. You're also going to need, the recipe calls for 1 cup of sugar per cheesecake. I use 1.5 cups. Since I'm making 2, I'm using 3 cups of sugar for the 2 cakes. Then you also need vanilla flavoring. This flavoring is a imitation vanilla extract. So instead of the 1 to 2 teaspoons or tablespoons, I think it's teaspoons, I use like about 1/4 cup of this because I get this flavor from the dollar store. It's not as strong as, say, Watkins vanilla flavor or McCormick vanilla flavor. So I use a little bit more of this. And then last,
We're going to need honey made granola crackers.
no, graham crackers.
Graham crackers.
Yeah, the honey made graham crackers. And this one here is the cinnamon flavor. I kind of like the cinnamon flavor, but you can use the plain. It's up to you if you don't like cinnamon. What I am going to say, and this is important, take note. If you want an excellent cheesecake, please buy NABISCO brand of graham crackers. If you just want a mediocre cheesecake, you can get any other brand, Spartan, Walmart, Meyer, whatever it is. You can get that brand, but to get an excellent cheesecake, it's just something different when you use the honey made by Nabisco graham crackers. So Brianna is going to show you what she's done to the graham crackers. So you want to hold that bag up. We put all 3 packages of graham crackers into the bag. So you want to demonstrate what you did?
So I kind of just spread out the graham crackers just a little bit, and then I have put this roller, and then I just kind of just either smash it like this, or do like roll it, or do it like this in different places where all the graham crackers can get mushed, and they can be like flat and sandy because you do not want no big chunks of graham crackers in your cheesecake. Then I'm gonna do it.
Okay, so what she's saying is that you want to get the graham cracker crumbs as fine as possible, so that when you mix them with the last ingredient here, the butter, to form your crust, that it'll press into the pan much more evenly, and when you go to cut your cheesecake, it'll come out cleaner than having great big chunks. So while I get the batter started, Breezy is going to take and open the butter and get that into the microwave. So I'm going to bring the mixer over towards me, and I'm going to adjust my camera so that you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to drop the motor, and like I said, I have 8 blocks of cream cheese in here. I'm going to lock my motor down and I'm going to start this off. And I have my spatula ready to push this down in here because this is a lot of cream cheese. And into the cream cheese, I'm going to add my sugar. Just put it in, I'll tell you when to take it out. So this is the most important part here, is adding the sugar to the cream cheese and getting that blended very well. And I keep scraping the sides of the bowl. And Brianna has put the butter into the microwave so that can melt and we can add the graham cracker crumbs to the butter to prepare our crust. Okay, I'm going to pause and let this batter blend and get nice and smooth because you don't want any lumps. I'm going to cut up the speed though, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay guys, I'm back, or we're back I should say. And my cream cheese mixture is nice and smooth now. While I was away, I did go ahead and I cracked my eggs into this cup. And the reason I did that is because I don't want to get any eggshells into the mixture. At this point, Breezy is going to retrieve the butter from the microwave. It's melted. And then she's just going to show you how we mix the graham cracker crumbs into the butter. So I'm going to put the camera in position and slide this back so you can see what she's doing. Leave it there because it's higher so that they can see.
Okay, so open the bag and pouring all of them.
Yep, pour all of them in there. Make sure you have it over the bowl. And this is 3 packages of graham cracker crumbs. The traditional recipe calls for 1 package of graham cracker crumbs, but our family likes graham cracker crumbs. So I use a pack and a half, so therefore I used all 3 packages of the graham cracker crumbs. And so she's going to just mix those until they get moistened. And while she does that, I'm going to bring the mixer back over. And I'm going to add the eggs into the cream cheese mixture. I'm going to cut it on slow here. And I'm going to add the eggs one at a time. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And remember, that was 1 egg for each block of cream cheese. And I used a cup and a half of sugar for each pie. I'm making 2. So now that the eggs are in here, I'm going to cut this up a little bit more so it can whip. If I want to get these eggs mixed up in here really good, because The egg is what's going to make this cheesecake rise in the oven. And now I'm going to cut it back on low. And I want to just scrape my sides down just to make sure that everything has a So Breezy says that the graham crackers look moistened. The last step for this is to add the vanilla flavoring. And this vanilla flavoring or extract is imitation. It was purchased at the Dollar Tree, so it's not as strong as like Watkins vanilla or McCormick vanilla. So I am going to use quite a bit of this to flavor my cheesecake. About 1/4 of a cup. Let me get a measuring cup.
This is what the product looks like when you add graham crackers and butter together.
Okay, so I have a 1/4 cup measurer here. And that's what I'm going to add slowly to my cream, cheese, and egg and sugar mixture. And I'm going to leave that on slow so that it doesn't flop out of the bowl, because I mean it's full because I'm doubling the batch. But I will take my spatula and help kind of fold it in. So that all the cream cheese is nicely flavored with vanilla. In terms of toppings, you can use a glaze, a strawberry fruit glaze on top, which is real simple and very flavorful. I believe Marzetti's has one. Or you can get canned fruit topping and either strawberry or cherry to top your cream cheese. And I don't top it until I'm ready to serve it. I leave the cheesecake just plain until I'm ready to serve it. Then that way the dye from the fruit doesn't permeate through my cheesecake and discolor the cheesecake. Okay, I'm going to turn it up just a little, because this bowl is full. All right, I'm going to shut this off for now. And I'm going to move my mixer back. And do you see the dish towel there? Yep. I just want to wipe the table. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I have 2 pans. These are my springform pans, and I'm going to show you how these work. There's a latch on the side of the pan, so you want to make sure that your bottom is sitting down in that groove before you lock it down, or else you're going to lose all your batter. So I put it on a flat surface. Let me see if I can pull this back so you can see. I put it on a flat surface. Line that up with the groove, the bottom plate portion, and then I close my lock. And now it's in there securely. So I'm going to check this one. Oh. Okay, you want to rinse that one off?
Yeah.
So while she rinses that one off, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put half of this graham cracker mixture into the bottom of this pan. And then I'm going to take my spatula and press this into the bottom of the pan. Like I say, my family, we like the graham cracker portion of the cheesecake. It just makes it so yummy. And it makes it more yummy if you use the NABISCO brand honey made graham crackers. It's imperative. Here's a towel here to dry that off. Dry that really well. And you just want to kind of get the graham cracker crumbs as even as possible. And I'm just scraping down my spatula a little bit. I don't want to lose any crust if possible. Okay, so that's what this looks like once you put your graham crackers in the bottom of the pan. I'm going to set this one to the side as we set up the second pan. I just want to make sure. I'm going to put it on the flat surface and then come back and make sure it's in the groove and then lock it down. Okay, Breezy, would you like to put the graham cracker crust in this pan? Here, I'll let you take it over here and do that. And then I can go ahead and start filling this pan with batter. So what I'm going to do now is unlock my motor portion. Yeah, we could put all of them in there. And look at that filling for the cheesecake. And I'm just going to scrape my feeder down because this could be an extra bite of cheesecake. So I want to get all of my cheesecake batter. I don't want to leave anything. What flavors of cheesecake do you guys like? Be sure to let me know in the comments section what flavors you like. Or is there a specific place that your family goes to purchase cheesecake? I know a lot of people like to go to a certain restaurant to get cheesecake. But I'm telling you, once you make this one for yourself at home, you'll see how simple it is and you will not go back to a restaurant to get cheesecake. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to be able to get off of this beater. Yeah, that looks perfect. So what you want to do, you still have some graham crackers here. Take this spoon. Let's knock this off. Waste not, want not. Okay, put that into the stand. Okay, that looks good. Put this one. Okay, I'm going to unlock my bowl. This is super heavy, so I have to be careful and take my time. And I've already preheated my oven to 325 degrees. This cheesecake needs to bake for approximately 55 minutes. When you cook a cheesecake, you can tell it's done because it's going to begin to crack down the center. That is quite normal. It'll be a fairly large crack, but once it's cool, that crack will decrease in size because the cake is going to kind of like, it starts out fluffy, and then as it cools, the batter or the cake tightens. So that's how cheesecake works. You will have a crack, so if you see a crack, don't get upset. But you want to make sure your edges are brown, about the color of peanut butter, light peanut butter, and then you know that your cheesecake is done. And you can also stick a toothpick in it to see if it comes out clean. It might be a little bit wet or moist looking on the toothpick, but that's how cheesecake is. Once it cools down, all that moisture kind of goes away. So now I'm going to pour some of this batter into the first pan. I'm going to get close to the pan as possible. And I'm gonna pour about half of it, maybe a little bit more here. Okay, that's the first one. And I'm just gonna set this behind you. And I'm gonna get my second pan and I'm gonna pour, and then if there's some left, then I'll kind of share between the two pans. Oh, it's plenty left. I'm gonna pull this over so you can see how high it's going. Now I'll come back over to this one. And you want to get all your batter off the sides of that bowl. So as you see, we have enough here for 2 cheesecakes following that recipe that I just shared with you. And I'm getting every bit of my batter. Okay. I'm just going to get a towel and kind of wipe off the side of my pan where I spilled a little bit. I don't want that to burn. So there we have it. You can see those 2 there. All right, at this point, I'm going to put these cheesecakes into the oven behind me. Once they're done, I'll be back. Okay, guys, we're back. The cheesecakes have been in the oven for approximately 1 hour. I put them in at about 11:43. And I have 12:44 actually on my clock now. But when I looked at them, they didn't seem quite brown enough yet. And it might be because I have 2 in there, that it's taking a little bit longer for them to brown. But I do see a crack on one of them. So I'm going to change the position of the camera. And I'm going to open the oven very briefly because I don't want too much cold air to get inside the oven. And I'm just going to show you what they're looking like at this point. So let's see. And I'm going to open the oven so that you can see. The one over there has a crack and around that side of it, and this one over here has a crack there. But I'm going to close this now because I don't want to lose too much of my heat. But I just wanted to come back briefly and show you from that vantage point that they were coming along quite well. Okay, so we will be back when the cooking process is complete, and we'll show you what those cakes look like coming out of the oven. Okay. Okay, guys, we're back. I left the cheesecakes in just about maybe 8 minutes longer, not even quite 10 minutes, and they're beautifully browned. So I'm going to change the position of the camera so that you can see as I remove them from the oven. And I'm going to set them just on the surface here until they cool. So let me get my oven mitts on. Can you see that? And when you pull it forward, you see that they shake a little bit, but that's exactly what it's supposed to do. That's because of the eggs. Once they cool, all of that shakiness and puffiness is going to condense, and then you'll have a firmer texture to your cheesecake. Let me just bring that down a little bit more. And you see how it's cracked. That's cheesecake number 1. And then I'm going to get cheesecake number 2. And when I first started preparing them, I didn't think it was done, but as soon as it gets cracked, you know it's done. So I'm going to set this one down before I drop it. Nice and easy. Now they're pretty high right now, but as they cool, they will condense. That puffiness will go down, and that's when the cheesecake tightens up to the consistency that you normally see it at or buy it at. And so that's it for now. So I'll come back a little later when I get ready to plate the cheesecake, and I'll show you what that's gonna look like. Okay, I'll be back. Hello guys, we're back. It's Aged Graceful here and my granddaughter Breezy, and we're coming to you now to finish up with the cheesecake presentation. And this is the cheesecake. It's cooled now, and you see that it has gone down and condensed like I told you it would. You still see the crack there, and it has loosened up from the sides of the pan. What I did do was take a butcher knife while it was still warm and loosened up just a little bit. Then I let it cool for 1 hour before I put it into the refrigerator. So it's been in the refrigerator now for what about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. It should stay in the refrigerator at least 3.5 to 4 hours, or either overnight. So what we're going to do now is take this cheesecake out of the spring form pan. So I'm going to take my butter knife, and I'm going to go, let me adjust the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go around the edge to loosen up the cheesecake some more. And I'm just going to go in one direction and try my best to stay close to the pan so I don't tear up the cake. Okay. All right. So now that I have it loosened, I hope enough, I'm going to unlock my hinge and stretch the sides of the pan and pull gently up. Voila. I did get a little bit stuck, if you can see right here on the side, but that's not a lot. This will be a nice snack later, so I'm gonna put that to the side. And now I will take my plate and bring on, would you like to hold the plate? And I'm going to put the cheesecake on it. Put the plate on the table, please. And there we go. Beautiful vanilla flavored plain cheesecake. I'm just going to garnish it right in the center with strawberries. And then for our topping, we're using the Marzetti strawberry glaze. This stuff is awesome. So I would highly recommend this glaze. If you want, you can just use plain fresh fruit. You can use strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, whatever flavor you would like. So now I'm going to cut into this cheesecake because Breezy has been waiting to have a piece. And you know what? I probably should have, you know what? Let me get my larger knife. Because this is 4 blocks of cheese and it's pretty dense. And I want to make a good slice. And I fill the graham cracker crust. Okay. Now I'm going to try to get this first piece out without tearing up my cheesecake. Can you see that? Absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to put it on the side so you can see the layers. Graham cracker, butter crust, and then the cheesecake. And Breezy, if you'll hand me a spoon, I'll give you some topping. Thank you. And I'm just going to stir the topping. And that's what the topping looks like. Am I tempting you? Oh boy. This looks good. Okay, ma'am. This is what you've been waiting for all day. This is AGEDGRACEFUL'S plain cheesecake, vanilla flavor with strawberry topping. And I'm going to hand that to Breezy so she can do a sample taste test for you. And
Good.
it's good.
Yeah.
So Granny gets the thumbs up. All right. So that will conclude our presentation of AGEDGRACEFUL'S plain cheesecake. I thank you for joining us this afternoon for another edition of Soulful Eats. You guys have a good day. Thank you for watching. Bye now.